Are you up to the task? Scientists need your help to count walruses from space.
Now, do you remember Thor the walrus? You could never really forget Thor the walrus, could you? He shocked and captivated the residents of Southampton, Scarborough and Blythe over Christmas when he suddenly appeared on the English coast.
Shocked, and kind of terrified, didn't he, I think. Why he had travelled so far from home to the north coast of England still remains a mystery, but scientists want to use the experience of Thor being here and use satellite technology to try to track other walruses just like him. And they want our help, as Jonah Fisher explains.
The way he was all curled up was so cute, like he just almost looked like a little pussycat.
It's been an extraordinary last month for Molly Gray.
You don't really expect to get a call for a walrus.
Of course, it wasn't actually Thor who picked up the phone, but Molly's job is to protect marine mammals. So she was kept closely informed as this rarest of UK visitor crisscrossed the channel and made his way round the coast.
So he was in Dieppe and then in Brittany, then came over to Southampton, went back to Dieppe and then went up to Scarborough, and then he was last sighted in Blythe in Northumberland.
As he hauled himself out onto beaches and into harbours, it was Molly and her colleagues who made the crowds keep their distance from the two-tusked, one-ton wandering walrus.
Didn't really seem to be bothered by the people at all. So yeah, he just snuggled down just for another rest.
Say hello to the adventurous walrus named Thor.
Has been an unusual visitor to one Hampshire beach.
In North Yorkshire, they cancelled Scarborough's fireworks display so he wasn't disturbed. But Thor didn't really care. He vanished into the North Sea before the festivities were due to start.
No one's seen Thor for more than 10 days, so the hope is he's now on his way back to the Arctic. But questions remain as to what he was doing here and whether it was in any way linked to climate change.
We'll probably never know why Thor came to the shores of the UK. He's a vagrant, that means a species that has left its normal range. He may have been foraging for new food sources, we simply don't know. However, we do know that in the Arctic, the walrus and many other species are facing the full reality of the climate crisis. So the Arctic is warming about 3 times as fast as the rest of the planet. Sea ice, that's frozen ocean, is in very rapid decline. It's perhaps the most visible sign of the climate crisis on our planet. And sea ice is critical habitat for walrus.
I think the spit's just going into view, Rob.
Knowing how many walruses there are and how the melting of the Arctic sea ice is affecting them is vital for efforts to protect them.
So we found it.
So Rod and a team from the WWF and the British Antarctic Survey travelled to the Arctic Circle last summer. Their aim? To count walruses and to cross-reference their findings with satellite images.
If we don't have information about them, then we don't know if they're adapting to their changing environment. We don't know if they're doing okay, if their number are decreasing. Technology can help conservation, partially for all the animals that live in remote places. It's going to help us understand so much more.
Walrus from space!
And this is where you come in.
We are creating a 21st century detective story, and you could be the detective. We want your...
2 years ago, thousands of people helped the WWF to go through 500,000 satellite images, spotting the ones with walruses in them. Now it's time for the next phase on the WWF website, counting them.
So with this counting campaign, what we're asking people to do is either put a point when you can see walrus, like here, because they're quite spread out, you can see each individual walrus. So you would just select that option and then put points around.
And what is the value of getting normal people to count walruses?
For us, it's because the Arctic is big, and so we have a lot of satellite images to go through. And with the first campaign, which was a search campaign, we've seen the value of it. We've been able to go through it much quicker than if it was just one person.
And are you offering a special prize if someone spots Thor?
We should do one, but to be honest, It's satellite images. We can spot walrus, but identifying individuals, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. That's advanced level walrus detective work.
This one could be Thor, that one could be Thor. Don't know, but I know they are walruses.
Jonah Fisher, BBC News.
Ever seen more?
No. Not from space, not close up.
I'm not sure how useful we're going to be, but let's find out more.
Did worry slightly when I did say the word walruses. Walruses didn't sound quite right, did it? But maybe we were right after all.
It's deep-seated knowledge that we have, Sal.